Welcome. I'd like to call the January 6, 2020 meeting of the North County Board of Education to order, and I will recognize Mr. Harvey for our invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. May the words spoken in this room tonight be beneficial to the students, parents, staff, and administrators in our school system. And may we be led by the guiding principles to always base our decisions on the best interests of our young people. Amen.
Thank you. Now if everyone will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll recognize Superintendent Williams for our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, tonight it's my honor to present to you for your consideration, hopefully your approval, tonight's agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Smith. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. Any questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Comments, I would just like to welcome our parents, students, staff, volunteers back to school after a nice break. I know we did have some things going on at the end of last week. I believe we'll get some information on here shortly, but I would like to welcome you back. I hope everyone did enjoy their break. I hope you're looking forward to a next, I guess, 5 months to finish out our year. It was a great start in the fall, and we're going to have a strong winter and a strong spring. So look forward to finishing up this year strong, and I look forward to hopefully sometime in the very near future our legislature will have a budget passed and maybe not vetoed. So we hope for that as well for all of us concerned. And that's it for my board comments tonight. Superintendent Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we begin, I'll echo what the chair said, and we'd like to welcome all of our staff members back. Today was a full and busy day, and I hope all of your households were smooth and efficient this morning and merry and cheerful. Mine was a little less than that with getting my 2 kids on the bus and everything, but they were glad to get back to school. They didn't seem that way at first. It was that whole getting up thing, but that's after the holidays. And I hope that things went well for you. And our teachers and principals reported that we had a great day today to kick off the new calendar year and the second half of the 1920 school year. We already have completed 1/2 of the school year, 1 semester in all of our schools, and for our high schools, they started new classes today. New classes, new teachers, the whole deal, like starting a new school year, and we certainly commend them for that. As we begin the new year, we have much to be proud of and a great deal for which to be thankful. First and foremost, always, I would name our wonderful students, and we have some of them here tonight. We'll be honoring them, and they certainly are representative of our best and our brightest, and we're thankful for all of our students. We thank the parents and the guardians and other loved ones, some of whom are here tonight, for sharing your young people with us. That is an honor and a privilege and a great responsibility, one that we don't take for granted. We take it very seriously every single day, and we try to live up to our commitment to make excellence a daily reality for every one of our young people every day. In starting 2020, we certainly pledge to go beyond what we've ever done before and to give even more. We can't work harder, but we have endeavored to work even more strategically and to push harder and to support our students to an even greater degree and to try to achieve even more. We appreciate our outstanding teachers, our principals, all of our other employees who are working so hard every day. Your efforts are making a tremendous positive difference. In 2019 and over the last 4 years, our district has posted its best student achievement numbers in almost 18 years. Our dropout rate is at an all-time low after reaching an all-time high 5 years ago. Our graduation rate is at an all-time high after falling to an all-time low just 5 years ago. we have realized significant reductions in our out-of-school suspension numbers. We believe there's a significant correlation between those out-of-school suspension reductions and the increased student achievement numbers as measured and shown in the test scores. Our number of grants, and we'll hear about some of those tonight, but both mini grants and school system-wide grants has tripled over the last 4 years, and that number has continued to increase during the 2019 calendar year. We expect that to continue. So, in short, I'll say this again. We have much for which to be thankful and much to be proud of. Chief among them, our students, our staff members. But what I'm saying really is the Lenoir County Public Schools family. Our family, our school system family has achieved much. And I am confident that 2020 calendar year and the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year will be our best yet. And I look forward to continuing that journey with you. Tonight, it is my honor to honor some of our staff members, our students, and our schools. For the second consecutive year, North Lenoir High School Meets Evaluation and Technology Team was a Bronze Award winner at the recent National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. Congratulations to team members Griselda Perez, Carrie Lynn Deaver, Kimberly Vasquez, and Lisette Vasquez, and advisor Reggie Jenkins. The North Lenoir team won their way into the national competition by finishing first in the state of North Carolina in June, the 7th time, by the way, in 11 years that the North Lenoir team has won the state title. And I would ask our board chair and vice chair to assist me in recognizing this team, these young ladies, if they would come forward. I think we have 3 of the 4 with us tonight. Ladies, before Mr. Holmes takes a picture, is there anything that you would like to say to the board and those gathered here about your experiences? You competed on the national stage and you placed there. That's a significant achievement for our school system. Would you like to say anything to them in reflecting on that experience?
It was a great experience.
Speak up, son.
It was a great experience to have before leaving high school as I was a senior and about to graduate. Definitely glad I had the time and the commitment to get all the way to nationals. I had a great time with these girls, learned a lot. I traveled out of state, which I haven't done, and I'm grateful for the Lenoir County and I think that's been supportive.
What is it?
I want to say a special thanks for all of us 3 for Mr. Jenkins. Not only is he a mentor, teacher, he's also a friend, and throughout the time we've been with him, he's actually helped us in not only in school but in our personal lives and pushing us to do more.
And he needs to be in the picture also.
I'm just very thankful for all the support that we had from our school, from our teachers, from everybody that's here. I had an amazing time at nationals. I got to see the mountain for the first time, so I'm pretty cool. So I'm just very thankful.
The girls were very proud of you.
If everybody could move back about 2 or 3 steps.
The Department of Public Instruction has presented 11 schools with graduation and growth certificates for high achievement during the 2018-2019 school year. Whether for academic growth or graduation rate, these certificates represent an impressive amount of hard work by students and educators. And I'll call them, we have two categories, NC Academic Growth and Certificate of Achievement. And we'll start with overall achievement for high graduation rate and growth. And the school's actually represented in both categories, but we'll recognize them separately, and that is Lenoir County Early College High School. Ms. Heath, you come forward.
I didn't see that either. All right, one more. All right, one, two, three. Great, thank you.
Now for NC Academic Growth, we'll call them one by one, and they'll come up and then we'll present the certificates and recognize them all as a group. Contentnia Savannah K-8 School. Mr. Moon is here representing Contentnia Savannah tonight. Frank Middle School. LaGrange Elementary School. Lenoir County Early College High School. Moss Hill Elementary School, Northeast Elementary School, Northwest Elementary School, Pink Hill Elementary School, South Lenoir High School, Southeast Elementary School, and Southwood Elementary School. Let's give them a round of applause. I believe they nominated Ms. Harvey to make a speech.
Absolutely.
Just tell them whatever you need to tell them, anything.
What kind of trouble she causing?
Lots. Keep her straight.
You can't keep her straight.
I know.
That wouldn't help.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Man.
I need about 6 on the front. Come on.
If Lee Amron get over this way, I'll be in. Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
They had to go to South Town.
I don't know who's causing trouble, Bruce or Lee.
Okay, I'll work for you. Tell them.
All right, don't worry. Okay, I'm free. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
A lot of hard work. Thanks to the grants from the Lenoir County Extension, Master Gardeners, and the creativity of our teachers, 3 schools will benefit from new gardening projects this year. Congratulations to grant winners Caitlin Hill of Northwest Elementary School, Diane Jones of Lenoir County Learning Academy, and Brenda Griffin of Pink Hill Elementary School and her grant-winning committee at Pink Hill. They were presented checks for $400 each by the Master Gardeners President Patricia Bizzle at the group's awards and recognition dinner on December 10th. Let's give them a round of applause. So you guys are all awarded by the Master Gardeners, so you can show us how it's done, right? For beautifying their schools and working it into instruction. So Ms. Jones, congratulations.
Thank you.
Griffin, good job. Howard Crew, LCPS portfolios. Now, Ms. Hill, have y'all met? Do you want to speak next? If not,
About 2 steps back. Hey.
We're proud to have our students included in WNCT's Sounds of the Season special that aired on Christmas Day on Channel 9. Banks Rocks, the all-star chorus group from Banks Elementary School under the direction of Christy White, and the middle school band from Contentious Savannah K-8 School conducted by Kate Williams performed holiday-inspired tunes. The special is available in its entirety at WNCT.com. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any public comments tonight? Okay. Without any public comments, we'll move into our presentation portion. Lenore County Public School Winter Professional Development Institute. Ms. Herring.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board.
As Ms. Herring's getting her presentation ready, let me say that this was the culmination of so much hard work by the instructional team. It was a wonderful event. It was on a par with many state conferences that I've been to, and we had nearly all of our staff members there participating. It was an outstanding professional development event, and we're one of only 3 school systems in the region that are doing big professional development events like that in the winter. We're very proud of our team.
Thank you. Okay. Is that you, or is that that's you? Okay, thank you so much. Wonderful. So we were very fortunate to, last Thursday on January the 2nd, 2020, the Curriculum and Instruction team organized and presented a Winter Professional Development Institute. You can go to the next slide, thank you. This year it was hosted by South Lenore High School, and we were very, very appreciative of that. Pretty much took over the entire high school. We offered 2 sessions this year. In the afternoon, we had a session that began at 12:30 and it ran until 1:45. And the second session began at 2 and it ran until 3:30. Mr. Sandeman had over 30 students on campus to provide directions and support for all of our teachers to help them get where they needed to be. And I believe it may have been the National Honor Society was selling refreshments, and so we were able to provide a fundraiser for that organization and allow our teachers to have a snack and a drink, which worked out very, very nicely. Okay. We had approximately 559 teachers attended 70 offerings. We offered 70 separate professional development opportunities during that day. But I had the WITN news. It was covered by WITN News. It was a really great story because we're having some issues with the display. That's a live link, so if you would like to visit it later. She did a lovely job writing the story. She interviewed Dr. Amelia McLeod, our middle grades director, and one of our teachers, Mr. Ryan Gardner from South Lenore, and they did a very nice job covering the event. We were very appreciative. During the 70 separate professional development offerings, we worked very hard to cover 2 of our instructional LCPS goals, Goal 4 and Goal 5. And if you're, are you able to click on that live link? That is, no, you can't. Okay. That's too bad. However, I did provide you, each of you were provided a electronic copy of the January workday booklet for the attendees. That should have been that was uploaded with your documents. And that was the document that, oh, you pulled it up. Wonderful. Thank you. See, it's a very nice article. The booklet, many of the comments that we received, the booklet was very, very well done. We were very proud of it. And it's very similar to one you would receive at any state or national conference. Oh, there it is. This is Mr. Harvey helping me out. So you see, this is the all of the listings for session 1. And then we had all of the listings for session 2. And then in the booklet, you were able to go through and you got a description, the title of the topic, the title of the presentation, a description of the presentation, who the presenters were, the room, and of course the C system, which is the system that our teachers use to receive credit. And so they were provided with this booklet, and they were able to go through and register for the 2 sessions they wanted to attend actually prior to Christmas break. So we had, the curriculum instruction team had this booklet and the C systems established prior to the break. So they were able to go ahead and register, and on the day back, they were able to just go straight to the sessions that they had signed up for. And it worked out very well. It was a very successful process. The white box has gone to white box heaven, we've been told, so I apologize. Our sessions were led by our very own LCPS staff. We did not bring anyone in. We used the expertise of the staff that we have here in Lenore County. Many of the session leaders were district personnel, but most of them were teachers that had really wonderful experiences to share, and they were able to share the successes they've had in the classroom and the engaging opportunities they provide for their students. They were able to share that out with their colleagues. These are our teachers, pictures of our teachers in their sessions. They were having a really great time. It never failed. Every session we entered, the teachers were engaged and having a really great time. They didn't even really know we were in and out, checking it out to see what they were doing. And then last, not on your slides, but there was one last slide that I've added. We were able to receive the survey results this morning, where the teachers had completed surveys of their experiences. And these are some of the quotes that I took from the survey. I absolutely loved how detailed and organized everything was. I can't wait to come back to my school with the new notes and ideas I've gathered. Thank you all so much. This was by far the most enjoyable PD I've ever attended. Great content and instructors. Fantastic presenters and valuable tech tools to utilize with writing. The session expanded my math knowledge. Awesome presentation. Can't wait to use what I've learned. So I believe overall we had a great start to our second semester, and our teachers enjoyed the opportunity. If there are any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Herring. I'd like to also thank Mr. Santaman and his staff and the students that volunteered and helped out. Thank you very much for that. Okay, our next item will be our human trafficking training law compliance summary. Mr. Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On December 1st, 2019, state legislators passed new laws that are intended to increase the awareness of and give tools to combat the rise of human trafficking across the state. State Law 115C-37520, entitled Child Sexual Abuse and Sex Trafficking Training Program Required, states that each employing entity shall adopt and implement a child sexual abuse and sex trafficking training program for school personnel who work directly with students grades kindergarten through 12. The program will provide education and awareness training related to child sexual abuse and sex trafficking, and provide resources on how to clearly identify and report concerns to appropriate officials. All school personnel who work with students in grades kindergarten through 12 shall receive 2 hours of training consistent with this law in even-numbered years, beginning in 2020. This law requires LEAs to identify a partner agency to facilitate this training. We are in negotiations with an agency very familiar to Lenore County Public Schools. In 2016, we partnered with Eastern North Carolina Stop Human Sex Trafficking Now. This agency provided a professional development to our student services team of school guidance counselors, school social workers, and school nurses. We were very pleased with the PD during the summer of 2016 and are very confident that they will be able to meet our needs to meet the requirements of the change in legislation. I have attached a copy of the new requirements in your packet. I'll entertain any questions that you may have.
We've really been doing this. We started 3 years ago. We haven't been training everyone, and we started out with the initial training, and then we've used the train-the-trainer model. But we really want to go back to the direct training and not only in compliance with the law, but to go beyond that and really train all of our staff members.
I think page 5 in the law is concerns the school employees. So if you're in that law, if you scroll down to page 5, it talks about the required trainings.
And you remember the summaries that we brought to you of that training at that time, and that certainly was well received by our staff members and has been since that time. And the only concern is now is with scheduling with the group, and I think they're in high demand since every school district has to have this. But we're working out those logistics.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey.
Thank you.
Our next item will be our school improvement process, mid-year strategic process monitoring and review process. Back to Ms. Herring.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My computer won't recognize it. And now Mr. Harvey's one. If the board would be so kind as to open up the presentation. There we go. Is that, you got it? Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate you very much.
We'll have the technology kids back next month. They can
I
take
mean,
care of it.
really.
Second grade.
So, I appreciate this is a presentation on our strategic and ongoing improvement oversight and our continued commitment to our strategic goals. Our commitment to school improvement includes a seamless process that's composed of layers of cyclical ongoing oversight. That includes September presentations of school improvement plans, followed by monthly school visits by the district leadership team, followed by a January review of our school improvement plan process, followed by, or as you come almost full circle now, we have annual summer board and administrator retreats, and tied into all of that leads into an urgency momentum that we push in the spring. The annual summer board and administrators retreat allows us to have a strategic review. We provide professional development and planning every summer for 3 days for our principals and directors. And I've just provided the last 4 presentations that I've given to you outlining the work that we've done at our administrative retreat. And it's followed with and correspondingly with our strategic review and planning for board members. Last year we had the opportunity for a day and a half in the summer, and we look forward to that opportunity again. And you have the presentation on the left that I provided to you all during our time down at Trinity, and then an overview of the presentation we did in 2018 together. The mid-year review of the school improvement plans is something that we are very excited about. This is going to happen this year. This is the calendar I provided on the board. We will be meeting on Tuesday, the 21st, Wednesday, the 22nd, and then Friday, the 24th of January. On Tuesday, you see, we will be meeting with our middle schools in the afternoon. On Wednesday, we'll be meeting with our high schools in the morning and half of our elementary schools in the afternoon. And then Friday morning, we'll conclude with the remainder of our elementary schools. Many of the things that we'll be covering during this conversation with our principals is to have a conversation about what is not working in their plans. To have a very honest conversation about of the things that they have planned and the strategic points that they've put in place, what is not working? Where in the data shows less success? What are the greatest points of concern that the teacher in the school, the principal and the school improvement team have identified? And what is the plan to fix the greatest points of concern? Many of the questions see is what is the urgency over, where is their urgency over spend? To concentrate on being very honest and accepting of where the change needs to occur. And can the principal move what they're doing, can the principal prove what they're doing differently here in the middle of the year to ensure that how we're moving forward has the best benefits. So we're looking forward, and of course you all are all invited to the mid-year review of the school improvement plans the end of this month. During the fall presentations of the school improvement plans, what is positive about that is we're able to give immediate feedback to the principal regarding their school improvement plan. They're monitored weekly. The school improvement plans are monitored weekly on NC Star by Ms. Key and by the grade span directors. We have district level leadership that are assigned to all of the schools, and they attend the school improvement team meetings every month, so that there's someone at the district level who can provide direct support and be able to answer and troubleshoot questions for the schools. In the beginning of every year, each school presents their school improvement plan to the entire leadership team at Central Services. And of course, the board is also invited to those presentations as well. And lastly, next to lastly, our fall presentations, our monthly school visits by district leadership. Every single month, the district leadership team here at Central Office boards a bus, and we go and we visit 2 schools. And during that time, we meet with the principal, and the principal provides us with the feedback on where they are in their school improvement plan. What are their celebrations and what are their areas for improvement? And it's nice because our entire team is there, so we're able to provide real-time information and real-time feedback. We tour the school, we visit classrooms, we are able to help prioritize or reprioritize, if you will, the use of resources there while we are in the building. And we're able to help adjust strategies as needed. There are things that we will see and things that we'll review prior to entering the school for the visit, and we're able to have an open dialogue with the principal and with students. You'll see we spend lots of time with students in the buildings, and when we enter the classrooms, we interact with the students. We look at the work that they are working on, and we're there to answer questions and to provide actionable feedback. So those are very beneficial opportunities for us to be in the schools and to monitor. That is the conclusion of my report. Please, do you have any questions?
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, our next presentation item will be our North Carolina School Board Association policy revisions. I'll recognize Superintendent Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. North Carolina School Boards Association has submitted policy revisions through the Policies to Lead the Schools subscription in response to recent legislation. The policies are submitted for board study with action to be taken at a subsequent meeting.
All right, we look forward to voting on those next month. And we will recognize Mr. Adams for our financial report.
Good evening, board members.
Evening.
The December financial report summarizes budget and year-to-date activity for all the North County Board of Education funds as of December 31st. Additionally, the report presents the local current expense fund balance for the same time period. As you have a chance to review the report, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
It seemed to be faring pretty well without a state budget yet.
We are, ideally, we would certainly have that in place. There is a continuation budget that, carries from year to year that we're able to follow a basic guideline.
We're trying to be very conservative too in recognition of that, because there's still that unknown factor, then there's the expectation of what will come, but we're trying to look at last year's budget and certainly stay well within that to provide some cushion room, just in case. We've been very conservative.
All right, we'll stay with you, Mr. Adams, for our 2020-2021 budget calendar.
Thank you. The budget calendar establishes a timeline of objectives to ensure the timely preparation and approval of the 2021 local current expense budget for Lenore County Board of Education. As you review the calendar, I'd like to point out a couple of legislative dates, being May 1st, that we have a budget and budget message presented to this board. May 15th being legislated that we present the budget to the county commissioners, and July 1st having a budget resolution in place. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
We are adding another layer of communication with the commissioners this year. I've worked with the new county manager, Michael James, and next week the chair and the vice chair and I will be meeting with the county manager and the chair and the vice chair of the Board of Commissioners. And we think that's a positive and a proactive step forward in keeping that communication open before the budget is created, as we're moving to not only talk about the budget, but all matters of concern between the two boards as we move forward and build our stronger level of communication and collaboration. So we think that's a positive step in this regard. And we're talking about budget with this, but we'll be talking about everything with them as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adams. We'll move to our action portion of our agenda. We have two items tonight. And our first item is our Lenore County Public Schools 2020-21 instructional calendar. Mrs. Herring.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For tonight's meeting, I respectfully present option C for the 2021 calendar for the coming year. At the last meeting, there were three options, and they were presented to the schools after the committee met and worked on the calendars. And they went back and presented those calendars to the schools, and they voted. Option C came ahead, way far ahead of the other two calendars, which was very good to see. And this is the calendar that we would like to present for your approval.
Am I missing the graduation date on there?
No, sir. So if you go and you look in May 28th, that is an early release day at noon. It's the last day of school. It's also that will also be the day of graduation, and it is the end of the grading period. So we're going to have graduation that afternoon. So we'll release at noon, and then we'll have the three graduations at 1, 3, and 5.
So remember, the high schools are in exams, and they've been taking exams, and they've already completed that, and they're having their exam makeup days and all that. So they're already finished at that point, and our high schools are strongly in support of this, and this works for them. Our high school principals are here, and they can attest to that.
Because you see, that is a holiday weekend.
Yeah, and that was
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
We needed to get it done.
That was the difficulty in bumping up on that. If we were to go with the Saturday, as we have done for the last 4 or 5 years, that would have been problematic for a lot of our families. And we polled our staff members and asked them to go home and talk with their families and come up with a recommendation, and they overwhelmingly chose this. And then we focused specifically on the high schools and sent it back to the high schools just to look at it through the lens of graduation. And this was overwhelmingly their choice. And I think it certainly is by far my recommendation of the available options.
If you could refresh my memory, this year will be 9, 11, and 1, or are we going 1, 3, and 5?
This year we
This
did
year we
one.
did 9, 11.
Normal 9, 11, and 1,
Yeah,
okay.
this year's 9/11 one
Okay.
in years past.
Right.
On Saturday.
Yes.
All right, same thing.
Yes. But this year will be Friday 1, 3, and 5, so that we can release and everyone can attend.
21.
21,
This is for next
2021.
year.
Motion to approve the 2020-21 instructional calendar is presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Hill,
Second.
second by Mr. Bogan.
One more question for you. before we
Okay.
do the vote. Was there any difference in the early college calendar?
There is a difference.
Okay.
The early college calendar we vote on separately
Right.
because it closely mimics
Okay.
the LCC.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take the vote. Okay.
Yeah, it's a separate calendar.
Any other questions? All in favor? Please raise your right hand. All right, thank you, gentlemen. And now we'll go to the Lenore County Early College calendar for 2021, staying with Mrs. Herring.
Yes, thank you, sir. The early college, Lenore County Early College High School calendar is very different from ours. It mimics almost identically that of Lenore Community College. They begin school 3 weeks prior to us, which this is we've always had to have a separate calendar for the early college.
Yeah, I knew it was different from the tradition. I was saying, was it any different from this year, from
Oh, no,
2020? Okay.
Nothing that's out of the norm.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to accept the Lenore County Early College calendar.
Move to accept the early college calendar.
We have a motion by Mr. Davis. Second by Mr. Woods. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Okay, we will now entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I move that the Lenore County Board of Education go into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files, to consult the board's attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege, and to consider matters relating to initial employment of an individual employee.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you, gentlemen. We are now in closed session, and we'll entertain a motion to approve the personnel report.
Move to approve personnel report with addendum.
A motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Davis. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you, gentlemen. Now we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We have a motion by Mr. Anderson. We have a second. Second by Mr. Bogan. All in favor of adjourning, please raise your right hand. Thank you.